This is Elite Lenny here reporting for duty, and I am actually here today because you guys are actually seeing this on YouTube. Pretty much you are actually seeing this on YouTube. I'm going to give you guys the heads up. I might not like Donald Trump politically and when it comes to every one of his speeches, but I got to really just hand it to him. He just does things like breathing. I am really just absolutely dumbfounded by this guy. He doesn't fail to either impress or make people mad. To me, it's both. He impresses me because he is such a strong, okay? He really places himself as like a strong guy. And it really just gets to the point that, well, he just does whatever he wants. At this point, he doesn't even care about how the shutdown is going, how it's actually affecting Americans. Part of that thing is actually engineered by him, okay? It was absolutely engineered by him, no doubt about that. Anyway, what is his purpose in Japan? Basically, it's right here. I'll just give you guys the heads up right now. I'm not exactly including this as the part of the stream, but I will give you guys the rundown of how this is. Because later, we're going to be watching the video of his speech on the USS GW, the George Washington, that's actually stationed in Japan. Now, a summary of why Trump is in Japan, plus some of the deeper strategic layers beneath the surface. He is there for a trade and investment deal. Trump and Japan's new Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi signed agreements covering U.S.-Japan trade frameworks, reduced U.S. tariffs on Japanese goods, and Japan pledging large U.S. investment. Critical minerals and supply chains. Actually, I thought it was semiconductors, but it's rare earth material. Basically, materials that are needed to actually make smartphones, American sold smartphones. So critical minerals too. And then mining and then processing to reduce dependence on China. Basically, Trump wants America to also depend on Japan when it comes to minerals. Now, for security and defense reaffirmation, Trump visited the USS aircraft carrier USS George Washington in Japan's naval base at Yokosuka, and it signaled Japan as a top U.S. ally. He even made a speech there, which is what we're going to actually react to later. And then he's building momentum ahead of China talks. The visit is part of a broader Asia tour culminating in a planned meeting with Xi Jinping. Strengthening Japan ties gives leverage. I'm just going to really make sure to give you guys the heads up of to what I think about Japan. All right, off the record, I am well, not exactly off the record, but it's my opinion. It's gonna come up onto YouTube. It's gonna come up onto YouTube anyway. So, as of the time of this taping, it's already less than a day ever since Trump actually got to Japan. But if I'm right, I think he's already starting to move on to Singapore because at this time, his Asia flights, I think, have a specific purpose. What are his plans? Let me just look at it up again. Let me just check it out. What are Trump's plans? Trump's plans in Asia. Asia schedule, if there is. Trump's Asia schedule. Okay. I'm gonna go AI mode to check shut. As of today, Donald Trump is in South Korea for the final leg of a diplomatic tour of Asia. He previously visited Malaysia and Japan. Now, his full schedule is as follows. Supposedly, a ASEAN summit. And then the Thailand-Cambodia peace accord, and then the trade deal. So he's basically at the final country, South Korea, before he would be moving on. So, yeah. So, in Japan, he met with Emperor Naruhito. He also met with Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi. He addressed the U.S. troops on the USS George Washington, and they made trade agreements. In South Korea, he is actually supposed to be in the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation. Probably he's there already. And then meeting with President Lee Jae-myung and meeting with President Xi Jinping also in South Korea. I wonder how the talks would be when it comes to Xi Jinping ever since the tariffs had hit China. But at the same time, China's cleverly hitting back with with making sure that China is moving away on investments when in the United States. They're not even sending people the retailed items that they were owed, considering that people did pay for stuff to be shipped from China. So sucks to be an American, unfortunately. And also, there's the thing of the soybeans. Unfortunately, soybean farmers in the United States are actually suffering because of this. So yeah, hopefully, some of these things are going to be talked about in the actual meeting with Xi Jinping. Because let's just be real. As much as I would like to see Trump cross paths with Xi Jinping using their fists, I would rather have them at least talk shit out first before the mess gets bigger. Okay? This tariff thing that's actually happening, it's not good for the farmers. It's not good for everyone else. It's not good for everyone else. It's not good for everyone else in America because some of them like cheaper goods, right? I mean, seriously, let trade go round as always. I mean, Trump is just ruining ruining the economical symbiosis of different nations, okay? He's just ruining the symbiosis of different nations that are symbiotic with each other. Seriously. Even if the US and China have their own tensions in economy-wise, they are each other. Unfortunately, it's come to that. It has really just come to that. All right? Now, where are we right now? We're going to check. Okay. Actually, let's finish. Let's finish everything in relation to. Let's finish everything in relation to the Japanese visit, and then what are the strategies here? Considering that the U.S. is now shifting from its dependence of rare earth materials from China to Japan. Japan sees in Takaichi, okay, this is in regards to Prime Minister Takaichi here. Japan sees in Takaichi a chance to enhance its military and strategic posture. She is pledging to usher in a golden age of the alliance with the United States. Meanwhile, there are protests actually ongoing, okay? There are protests actually ongoing. Yeah, not a good sign. Trump is leveraging this to show he's strong on trade, defense, and Asia, and important for his political brand and political standing. Doing that while there is still a government shutdown. Of course, he doesn't care. All he just cares is golfing and making sure his hand does not shake. But, oh, I'm sorry, your hand doesn't look good. Don't mind about that. Don't mind about that. Yeah, that's not me pretending to be Trump. That's just me actually signifying that Trump is actually an ass. He is an ass. So, yeah. The rare earth deal is not just commercial. It targets China's dominance in those materials, signaling a shift in supply chain strategy. And Japan gifting symbolic items. Golf putter of late Shinzo Abe and a Ford 150 display. Ford F-150. It underscores the personal brand diplomatic style and play. I believe this visit is very much about positioning. Trump, okay, this is what the GPT wants to tell me about. What strategy is there? Because the prompt I actually gave on this is Trump went to Japan. What's his purpose there? Get stuff from the web to help with context. Also mention any background stories that are beneath the surface, please. So, this is how it is. This visit is very much about positioning. Trump wants to reinforce U.S. influence in Asia via Japan while projecting a win. Trade deals, investment, security commitment. Japan under Takaichi wants to reassert itself in regional security and diversify its alliances. And something that's unrelated, but she is also going to strengthen her anti-foreigner policy because of the problems that Japan has with foreigners. Basically, she heard the Japanese loud and clear because of unruly foreigners who will not be welcome, will not be considered blacklisted from even entering Japan. I think that's the possibility inside the policy. Okay? Now, that actually works to a point because Trump doesn't like anyone who's not even American first. I would actually say Johnny Somali is already due by this point because he's not pure American. He's Ethiopian, for Pete's sake. And Johnny Somali, it's just my personal take. So IRL streamers like Johnny Somali, he has no chance of ever getting back to the United States. He's already having problems in South Korea. He can't get out of shit. He cannot get out of shit. And I am definitely happy about that. He's humiliated in court, and he can't get himself out of it. He is done as a streamer. He is done as a figure. He can't get himself out of his own mess. He can't. But anyway, back to Japan, okay? Japan under Takaichi wants to reassert itself regional security and diversify its alliances. Together, they aim to send a message to China. We are coordinated. Basically, yeah. So, we are at a point in which Trump is already in South Korea, but that I will not be covering on this particular video, the meeting, the possible subjects or meeting between Trump and Xi Jinping, because I think the actual subjects will actually be tackled when Trump gets back into the United States. So I think we will get more details after. United States, Asia. I'm just going to make sure. Okay. South Korea. I'm just checking if there are any updates right now. Ah, okay. So Trump is finally going to be departing. Actually, that was from an hour ago. I'm just going to play it for you guys so that you guys don't have any problem when it comes to that stuff. On the stream itself, it's we're going to be watching the thing that actually happens on the USS George Washington. Basically, this is just Donald Trump arriving with his helicopter, arriving in the airport so that he's about to leave. Anyway, there's nothing much to write home about, but this is everything. Basically, yeah, this is everything. Basically, this is him. He's about to board the plane already, so yeah. Basically, that's him. Basically saying goodbye and then doing whatever. He's just waving goodbye and then the United States, he's just leaving. Basically, Air Force One is leaving. So yeah, he's definitely on his way now to South Korea. At least we know that now. So basically, he's on his way to South Korea. There we are when it comes to that. What he said, however, in USS George Washington is something we definitely need to take a look ourselves. So, give me a moment here. For those watching in this stream, I hope you guys missed me. We are going to watch the actual stream that actually happened when the bastard is still in Japan. At this time, he already left for South Korea. Okay, he left for South Korea on the because South Korea is the last leg. Is already the last leg of his Asia tour. Okay, now what he did in Japan is fruitful. It makes his visit in Japan fruitful. But at the moment, at this time, we're here to check out what kind of speech he actually laid out for the guys at the USS George Washington, which is stationed at Yokosuka. I'm not sure if it's the naval base or I'm not sure which it is or what location it is, but it is in Yokosuka, Japan. Okay. I think this is just one of his visits before the trade deals went through, and then, yeah. Anyways, here it is. We're about to watch it, I guess. Here we go.
What a group. All champions. Well, thank you very much. A big hello. This is a special group of patriots, champions, winners. You are winners. And a very special hello to the greatest sailors anywhere in the seas, the incredible men and women of the United States Navy. Very special people. Thank you very much. It's a great honor to be here. But I'm thrilled to be here among thousands of proud American patriots aboard the 100,000 tons, that's a lot of tonnage, forward deployed symbol of American might, power, and prestige, the legendary USS George Washington. This is some ship. They don't make them this way anymore, but we're not supposed to say that, but they really don't.
We're not supposed to say that.
This is great stuff.
Whatever.
This is really an incredible GW, they call it GW, right? It's come this afternoon to celebrate the strength and the skill and service of everyone on this ship. So we're going to all relax. We're going to have a good time. We're not going anywhere, you know. If you go back to Washington, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. But I want to just tell you that you are special people, and we're going to have a little fun. And I'm going to tell you how great our country is and how well we're doing, because a year and a half ago, we had a different country than we do right now. Now we're the most respected country in the world. We're the hottest country anywhere in the world. And it hasn't taken too long, but...
Yeah, fix your internal issues, though. But whatever you say, dude. Whatever you say.
I had no doubt. I just didn't know we were going to do it this fast. We've done it fast because of people like you. So I want to thank you very much. And I want to recognize a man that you all know well. And he's a tough cookie. He was formerly our Secretary of Defense, but now he is proudly known as our Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth.
Pete Hegseth. Damn.
He gave up a hell of a job. They were going to pay him millions of dollars. They didn't want him to leave. That crazy fox said he didn't want him to leave. But he wanted, every time I'd go in.
Look, let's just be real. Even Fox News is starting to get some doubts on this guy. Some hardliners are actually still reporting from Fox News, but hey. But when it comes to the branding of Fox News itself, it's basically intact. The problem is they're a little confused as to why Trump, how and why Trump is being like that to Fox News, considering that they've lost all access to the Pentagon. I know Fox News is supposed to be a journalistic body, but they're not journalists if they have a full-on, unbelievably blind bias for this guy and for the Republican Party. Seriously, look, let the Republican Party be. Do not let MAGA even collaborate anymore with the Republican Party. MAGA and Donald Trump, all toxic. They don't deserve to even be praised anymore. They don't even deserve to be remembered.
Hey, listen. Why is it for the life of me you're not actually subscribed yet? Because let's just be real. A big chunk of you guys haven't actually subscribed. And most of the views come from those who are not subscribed. So I don't really take offense to it. I am just really baffled as to the viewership and where the viewership comes from. But I'm really glad that people are starting to actually come back to this channel as long as there's more exposition of my long-form videos using shorts. So basically, I'm getting somewhere. It's just that I need really good, more exposure when it comes to these things. So whenever you get the chance to actually check out my YouTube channel, check it out. Subscribe, and if ever you want to actually see some more updates as to what I'm posting, you can hit the notification bell and choose to actually tune into all the uploads that I have. So ring the bell for all notifications, and you never have to actually miss anything from me in relation to my vlog, in relation to my videos on demand when I actually stream, or to just basically anything else whenever I rant or react to everything offline instead of just going on stream, because I need to get my pacing around. So yeah, that's all I gotta say. Make sure to actually check out my YouTube and subscribe. Check out my other platforms too if you can too. I stream regularly. Well, not exactly regularly. Most of the time on Kick and DLive. Just making sure that you guys understand. Anyway, back to the video.
That show, all he wants to talk about is the military. And I said, if I ever do this, I'm going to bring this guy along with me. He knew more about it than anybody. He didn't want to be doing the other stuff, and he had a chance. He could have made so much money he wouldn't have known. He didn't. That this is what you wanted, Pete. He's so happy now. Those drug ships aren't coming in anymore. We can't find a ship. There's no ships coming in with drugs. It's like he's been. Thank you.
He is such a rage baiter with his words, bro.
We appreciate it.
He's such a rage baiter with his words.
Past administrations, we will not be politically correct. You don't mind that, do you? When it comes to defending the United States, we're no longer politically correct. We're going to defend our country any way we have to, and that's usually not the politically correct way. From now on, we're in a war. We're going to win the war. We're going to win it like nobody ever before. We'd go in.
You mean the war against Venezuela?
Shouldn't have gone in. By the way, if you don't go in, that's even better. We don't have to go in peace through strength. But, we'd go in, we'd win, and then we'd leave. They used to say, to the victor belong the spoils. Well, we'd be the victor, then we'd leave, because we had people that didn't know what the hell they were doing. But we're also very honored to be joined by hundreds of our incredible Japanese partners, and they are incredible. Thank you very much. This woman is a winner, so we become very...
Sanae Takaichi.
Their stock market today hit an all-time high. That means we're doing something right. But
There are still protesters, though.
in Japan is one of the most remarkable relationships in the entire world. Really, there's never been anything.
Of course you want to avoid it. Of course you want to not talk about the protesters.
Into the beautiful friendship that we have. It's a foundation of peace and security in the Pacific. You see it? So on behalf of all American sailors stationed in this beautiful country, let's hear it for our allies and the Japanese self-defense forces and all of the Japanese.
Oh, man.
And I have such respect for Japan.
Really?
And now I have a really great respect for the new and incredible Prime Minister. I have to say this, the first female Prime Minister in the history of Japan.
The first female?
Minister,
Really?
say a few words, please.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you all. 通訳本日、米国の海軍創設250周年という記念すべき節目にトランプ大統領とともに地域の自由と平和を守る象徴である空母ジョージ・ワシントンで挨拶
Here marks the U.S. Navy's semi-quincentennial, and as we celebrate the important milestone, I'm truly honored to have this opportunity to deliver remarks with President Trump aboard the aircraft carrier USS George Washington, a symbol of protecting freedom and peace in this region.
日夜、我が国と地域の平和と安全のために尽力していく自衛隊員、そして在日米軍の、軍隊の皆軍人の皆様に敬意と感謝を
And foremost, I would like to express my deep respect and sincere gratitude to all the men and women in uniform from Japan's Self-Defense Forces and the U.S. Forces Japan for your dedication and commitment to safeguard peace and security of our nation and the region day and night.
Yep. Okay.
北の地で、トランプ大統領と、亡くなった、総理が、日米が共に手を取り合って、この平和と安全を確保
She meant it.
Same place, Fuka City. The late Prime Minister Shinzo Abe and President Trump stood side by side and demonstrated their resolve that Japan and the United States would join hands to ensure peace and security in this region.
日米の私決意を引き継ぎ太平洋自由で開かれた、そして地域の平和と繁栄の礎とする決意を改め
To Commanders-in-Chief of Japan and the United States, I have renewed my determination to carry forward that resolve and to make the Indo-Pacific free and open so that it will serve as the foundation of peace and prosperity for the entire region.
平和は言葉だけではなく確固たる決意と行動によってこそ守られます。
Now we are facing an unprecedented severe security environment. Peace cannot be preserved by words alone. It can be protected only when there is an unwavering determination and action.
あちらに見える最上とマヤを含む自衛官とジョージ・ワシントンは数多くの訓練を重ね横須賀にいる多くの、補給整備に携わる、日米関係者の皆様地域社会との絆が、米国海軍の活動を長年にわたる、こうした幾層日米の協力が日米の抑止力対処力
Maritime Self-Defense Army and Maya, vessels of Japan's Maritime Self-Defense Force, and USS Washington have conducted numerous exercises. Just as importantly, there are so American personnel working for logistics and maintenance here in Yokosuka. And there's also a strong sense of bond with the local community here. What have been supporting the activities of US Navy over the years. There's no doubt that such multi-layered Japan-US cooperation is what makes it possible for us to ensure credibility of our two nations' deterrence and response capabilities.
私は決意しています。
Okay.
今後防衛力を抜本的にこの地域の平和と安定により一層積極的に貢献していきたい。
My unwavering determination here. Japan is committed to fundamentally reinforce its defense capabilities, and Japan is ready to contribute even more proactively to peace and stability of the region.
よりトランプ大統領とともに世界で偉大な同盟になった日米同盟をさらなる高みに引き上げてまいります。
Through these efforts, together with President Trump, I am determined to elevate the Japan-US alliance, which has already become the greatest alliance in the world, to even greater heights.
日米は自由で開かれて進みます。から紡がれる日米の絆を輝く未来へと。
Japan and the United States will advance together with our sails raised high across a free and open sea. And I am very confident that the sea route from Yokosuka will make our bond even stronger and stronger and bring our two nations on the path to a shining future.
Thank you.
That was beautiful. Thank you very much.
Okay.
And
Let's just be real. I think some of her, I'm not sure if I should actually look at all her policies in regards to, okay, there are things that I do need to search because I do need to ask if her policy in regards to military intervention and her prowess in regards to that, okay? I need to know if they are also similar to that of Shinzo Abe, if there is anything similar. Oh, I was right. Because Shinzo Abe was actually moving towards military intervention and deterrence. So basically, she also has the same mind. So between the two, the late Shinzo Abe has shown stronger and more consistent orientation towards military intervention and deterrence. Here's a breakdown. Abe pushed major shifts. His government reinterpreted Japan's pacifist constitution to allow collective self-defense and broader overseas deployment of this Japan self-defense force. He explicitly said Japan needs striking power to deter threats. Meanwhile, a more recent prime minister, Sanae Takaichi, the new prime minister, has likewise signaled strong defense or deterrence intent, boosting defense spending to 2% of GDP early. But Takaichi's policies are still emerging. Abe's track record was deeper and more transformational in security policy. Abe is more in line with strong deterrence or military intervention posture than his successor at this stage, though the successor appears to follow a similar direction, considering that we also heard it from her at the speech. So, okay, we actually get at least something to back that up.
we will have a long, good relationship, and we'll have fun doing it. You have to have fun, although sometimes it's never fun. She's tough to negotiate with, I want to tell you. But I'm delighted to report that I've just approved the first batch of missiles. You saw a couple of them coming down with me. I hugged them. We need them. They're the best in the world. Nobody has them like we have them. They all want our missiles. That's the problem. Everybody wants them. But it's the first batch of missiles to be delivered to the Japanese self-defense forces for Japan's F-35s. And they're coming this week.
Oh, yeah.
They're ahead of schedule. So I just
rearming of missiles for Japan's
self-defense
force.
We got them here right away. As soon as I heard about it, I want to thank former Senator, a great gentleman, by the way. He was so popular, but I took him out and I made him Secretary of State. I think he was born for it, Marco Rubio. Thank you very much, Marco. Where are you, Marco? Great job. He was born for it. Ambassador George Glass, thank you very much, George. Good job you're doing. Thank you. Many of our outstanding uniformed leaders with us today, including the head of the Indo-Pacific Command, Admiral Samuel Paparo. Where is Samuel? Hello. Good, but these are good-looking people. Make a movie with these guys. They're like Central Cat. Look at this group of people. Commander of the U.S. Forces, Japan, General Stephen Jost. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you very much. The commander of the 7th... Oh, that's a big deal. I think, do you want to switch jobs for 1 week? Only for 1 week, all right. 7th Fleet, big stuff, Vice Admiral Fred Kacher. Fred, thank you very much. And the commander of Carrier Strike, Group 5, Rear Admiral Eric Pappy Andoze. Hello, Pappy. That's great. Good.
They're there too. Okay, got it.
Of course, we can't forget about your command triad aboard the George Washington. There's nothing like this one. This is a beauty, and I hear your commanding officer is a big Alabama football fan. I love Alabama. Captain Timothy Waits, and let me just say, roll tide. I love Alabama. Roll tide. That was a hell of a game this week. I don't know how the hell you pulled that one out. That was, if you didn't win, I wouldn't have mentioned it. I would have just introduced you. I wouldn't have. But you came back from oblivion. Isn't it nice coming back? Coming back is good. Thanks as well to your XO, Captain Patrick Blind. Patrick, where is he?
Dude.
A respected person. All of these people are the best. Look at them. I mean, you look at them.
Everyone just panders to him because he gives them something.
What they're doing, and nobody does.
Really pathetic.
Really one of the most important people on the ship. Have you ever heard of Command Master Chief Tony Roberts? Have you ever heard of him? Wherever you are. Where's Tony? Thank you. Thank you, Tony. He's a popular guy. And as many of you know, this month we're celebrating a truly momentous anniversary. 250 years of courage and pride, honor, and victory by the United States Navy. 250 years, can you imagine? And 3 weeks ago, Melania and I flew to Naval Station Norfolk. I think many of you probably know that, and witnessed an unforgettable display of pure American dominance at sea. It was incredible to watch. They gave us some... Then I said, slow it down, costs a lot of money. Let's save it. Let's just a little bit. They gave us some great display, from the thunderous roar of the guided missile destroyers, never saw anything like it, to the spectacular sight of nuclear submarines all over the place, to the unstoppable force of another great American aircraft carrier. One thing was clear, that no enemy will ever even dream of threatening America's Navy. There's no Navy even close. Not close. You hear about some of them doing ships, but nobody can do what we do. Nobody has what we have. And we also have the best equipment that rides along in those ships. You see that? Nobody makes equipment like we do. Nobody makes
equipment like we do. Oh, come on, dude.
And if they do, the American sailor stands ready to crush them and sink them and wreck them and blast them into oblivion, right? And that's a terrible statement for me to make. That's the end of it, because everybody said that I should immediately get the Nobel Peace Award. With that statement, that takes me out of the running, but that's the way it is. The United States is blessed with the strongest and most powerful military in the history of the world. There's no military like our military, not even close.
Ah, dude.
It'll be stronger and more powerful than ever before.
You keep boasting you got good military, for Pete's sake. Then use it properly, why don't you?
$1 trillion. We have the best.
Utilize your National Guard and your
technology
and your armed troops on U.S. soil properly. Don't deploy them against civilians just because of immigration officers.
We do make the best weapons, but if you don't have the right people to...
Oh, you can't do that because you don't know how to deploy them properly? Is that how it is? Wow. And everyone thought you got a lot of high IQ. I'm just seeing -0 IQ. Huh?
Incredible people, good-looking people, too many good-looking people. I don't like good-looking people. I never liked good-looking people, I'll be honest with you. I've never admitted that before.
You never liked good look. I'm sorry. If you were talking to Melania right now, she would not be... Oh, boy.
I'm allowed to... See, we wanted the Supreme Court to think based on merit. You know about that, right? Merit. Everything now in our country is based on merit. And that's why I look at you and I see nothing but merit. It's great to have a country back where we can go by merit now. We don't go by anything else except for talent and work and hard work. And it's such a big win. That was one of the most important wins. And the will, patriotism, and spirit in your hearts is our single greatest weapon. The strength that you have is unbelievable. That's why, as we make a record investment in our military, we've never spent so much, and we've never spent it more wisely, because now we watch it. We spend it properly. I'm also supporting an across-the-board pay raise for every sailor and service member.
Pay raise. Okay, fine. That's something okay.
You want to give back to your country? Just let us know. We won't give it to you. Is there anybody in that category? But now, all we really have to do is get the Democrats to approve it. But they'll come along. They always do. They always do. And because I heard that the sailors on the George Washington took a hit to your family separation pay, you know what I'm talking about, right? You took a little hit to be here, right? By returning to the port, you returned early for this event. I am delighted to announce that as your sort of boss, I don't feel like your boss, but I guess I am. At least you'll be happy about this one. At my direction, we're going to make sure that you receive the full amount that you were owed for the deployment. And we're not going to deduct anything because you came in to listen to your to be an admiral. I always wanted to be an admiral, to be honest. the people that I love so much, they sit around the table, they have all those beautiful stars and stripes. But I'll tell you what I love. I will always love the admirals. I love those uniforms.
You only got to your own position just because you are so... Come on, dude. Come on. Stop flaunting already. Pete's sake.
Over the past 11 months, the spirit of our military has been soaring like never before. You know that. The spirit of our country has been soaring. After years of recruiting shortages and before the election, November 5th, after that it all changed. After we won, it all changed. And now we have waiting lists with record numbers trying to join the U.S. Navy and all of the armed forces. We have literal waiting lists, and I'm pleased to report that 2025 was the Navy's single best recruiting year in many generations. That's pretty good, isn't it? But, you know, think of it. It seems like I've been up here so long, and it seems like I've been doing this for a long time, and we had a great first term, but nothing like what's happening now. We had the greatest economy in the history of our country. I rebuilt the military in the first term. and then they gave a lot of it away to Afghanistan, but it was really just a tiny speck, but it was the concept of what it was. But we rebuilt the military, and we did so many things in the first term, but we're blowing it away right now. But think of it, just 1 year ago, I was in the middle of a campaign. Can you believe that? It doesn't feel that way. I said, you're right, it's not November 5th yet. We have another week or so to go. I was campaigning 1 year ago. And look at all the things that we've done since this unbelievable November 5th. That's when it all changed. When we won on November 5th, it all changed, and we went from a country that wasn't respected and a lot of people that had no spirit. That includes joining the police, the fire departments. They didn't want to join. After that, they started joining, and it seems like 10 years.
Well, are people going to keep joining considering that there's a government shutdown? You still haven't addressed the shutdown, my boy. You still have not addressed the shutdown.
Years ago, not less than a year. Think of it, less than a year ago, I was campaigning. You know, we won the second election by a lot, so we had to just prove it by winning the third by too big to rig, I called it. It was too big to rig. And it was an amazing victory. And thank goodness we won, because we were in big trouble. We were in big trouble. The new recruits, a sailor aboard the ship, has answered a sacred call of duty to cross any ocean, fight any battle, and defend America and its allies with unwavering resolve. As you know, the George Washington is the only aircraft carrier on Earth that is permanently stationed overseas. It's permanent. Now, if you'd like to take a trip back to America, let's do it one time. Well, I'll join you. I'd love to join you. You know, when I landed on this, it doesn't feel like a ship. It's solid. It's a solid piece of stuff. These 4.5 acres of power and steel are the front line of American freedom in the Pacific. Every day you're taking risks to keep our country safe and to defend peace and security in this incredible part of the world, working with Japan, working with other nations. I just left Malaysia. We stopped a big war with, you know that, we stopped 8 wars. Can you imagine? And
you keep telling yourself that you stopped wars, but for Pete's sake, the ceasefire abruptly ended when you turned your head away. Let me just tell you, Israel is at it again. I don't know if you've addressed that. You should address it, dude. You stopped 8 wars. Shut the hell up, man.
8 months, I stopped 8 wars. Like, I stopped a war month. Think of that. That's pretty good. But I just left Malaysia. Thank them, because they helped us very much with one of them, and actually for even a second, they're great people, and they send their regards. I spent a day there with the Prime Minister, and we had a good time. But you carry out your mission bravely, you carried out brilliantly, and on behalf of all Americans, I just want to say, and I came over to say it loud and clear, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Incredible people. They actually have the best location, because if they're really good looking, they end up in Hollywood. You know, you're not going to, you have a great look, but you're not going to end in Hollywood. They can just see the back of your head, all the media. Look at all the fake news back there. But 2 years ago, Naval Air Crewman 3rd Class James McCall was just a few months into his first fleet tour with the Golden Falcons helicopter squadron when he and his crew were called on a search and rescue mission to find 3 missing Navy divers. Incredible, brave guys, the divers. But they were stranded at sea and right off the Japanese coast. They were exhausted and assuming they were going to die. They assumed they were going to die. But with unbelievable focus and skill, crewman McCall was able to find and help rescue all 3 divers in the water below, saving his fellow sailors. And James is with us today as a shipmate on this carrier. Crewman McCall, thank you very much for your incredible bravery, and we salute you. Where is James? Where are you, James? Whoa, get up here. Come up here.
Basically, what he's just doing here is just thanking the soldiers and stuff like that, okay? He's just doing whatever. And, of course, when it comes to flaunting and other stuff like that, I don't think there's any other very, very interesting points about it in the video, okay? Let me just really just be clear about this. I am absolutely still horrified that there is a timer that has the federal government shutdown right there. Is there no serious reflection as to what's really happening in the United States for once? He can't even do that. He can't. He's not Sleepy Joe. I know he's not who he calls Sleepy Joe. But seriously, if he's got more energy to do this, why can't he do that to help his own citizens? He can't, because he's all about the ego. He's all about making sure that his name is out there. Better out there. I got no way to say it. He is he keeps being an asshole. He keeps being an asshole. There's no other way to say it. Now, I'm at a point in which even if Trump actually does think to people who are actually doing what they need to deter threats, to deter actual threats, okay? And they should really be thanked for doing things for that, okay? To deter threats. You should never forget that their commander-in-chief is just as responsible for not only making sure that there is deterrence to begin with, but he's also supposed to make absolutely sure that those who are living back at his home country, it is their interests are served too. But with the direction things are going now, basically America's heading to a war with Venezuela eventually, which would eventually put the Philippines in the crosshairs of China, because China would eventually lose oil supply because their supply would be cut off by the United States, because the United States is going to actually own what is left of the oil supply. Look, China is going to go up to any of its Asian neighbors, okay? This is one of the neighbors. Seriously. This is why I don't like Trump. He does things, he doesn't think of the consequences of whatever he's done, and the only thing now, considering that he's this way, is that the only thing that I'm thinking right now is that I'm praying that he doesn't do what I think he's going to do. Because if he does, it's never going to help him politically, never going to help anyone else in general. It's hopefully that talk with Xi Jinping in South Korea goes well, and that Trump's stance on the tariffs, basically, hopefully he changes his mind on those things, so that a part of the U.S. economy would at least be restored, and that he doesn't contribute directly to the world's inflation, because right now there's still inflation because of the Ukraine-Russia conflict, and because of other things like Israel actually engaging in military operations against Hamas, because they haven't honored the ceasefire. They still haven't honored the ceasefire. Look, too many things happening in this world that actually zip out all the contents of it faster. It's just, there are always effects and consequences to his actions. If he can understand that, he will be able to at least prevent some of the horrible things that are happening. It's just, even if Venezuela looks like an enemy to him, and looks like a problem to the drug war, or to the drugs that are coming into the United States, he should coordinate with their military. For Pete's sake, the Venezuela's military is already up in arms in this, considering that they're trying to cover for civilians. Seriously. If this is gonna go any better and not downhill, there should be a good practice of wisdom for this. I'm still on the fence when it comes to how Trump sees things and does things. This is why I never believed him from the first term. I never want to even have him as a leader at all. Even if I'm from the Philippines, if I was an American, I would never vote for the guy. No experience whatsoever in dealing with these things. Economics is not his best field. Business is. He still does not know what he's doing. That's why he hates smart people, because he wants to make sure that his echo chamber is full of people who don't know what they're doing. And goddamn, we're seeing the radical effects of it right now.